He has more votes than every one of those pan-headed politicians in Washington.
What if the most dangerous villain in Fallout Season 2 isn't a raider, a mutant, or even a faction, but a man who may exist in more than one version at the same time? As Fallout shifts its focus to the neon-lit ruins of New Vegas, one name rises above the chaos: Robert House, a genius billionaire, a corporate god, and now the show's most unsettling power player. His return isn't just bigger, it's stranger. 2 faces, 2 performances, 1 legacy built on control, money, and machines. And right from the opening moments, Fallout Season 2 is asking us a terrifying question. Do we really know who Robert House is, or how many of him there are? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today we're breaking down Robert House as the true villain of Fallout Season 2, digging into his New Vegas origins, his technocratic ideology, and the shocking possibility that the show is presenting us with 2 very different versions of the same man. Who Robert House is in the Fallout universe. Robert Edwin House is one of the great architects of the Fallout world. Long before the bombs fell, he was already shaping the future through RobCo Industries, a megacorporation that specialized in robotics, artificial intelligence, and automation. In the pre-war world, House was celebrated as a genius industrialist, a man who promised efficiency, innovation, and progress. Behind that polished exterior, however, was someone obsessed with control, prediction, and survival at any cost. When the Great War finally arrived, House was more prepared than almost anyone else. Using advanced calculations and cutting-edge technology, he managed to partially defend Las Vegas from nuclear annihilation, preserving the city that would later become New Vegas. While the rest of the world burned, House retreated into the Lucky 38 casino, placing his physical body into a life-preserving chamber that allowed his mind to endure for centuries. By the time Fallout New Vegas takes place in 2281, House is no longer a traditional human ruler, but a consciousness interfacing with machines, securitrons, and surveillance systems that give him near-total control over the Strip. The game House is neither a cartoon villain nor a benevolent savior. He is a technocrat who believes that humanity's future depends on centralized authority and rational decision-making, with himself at the center. His vision for New Vegas is one of order, stability, and prosperity, but only on his terms. Freedom, democracy, and moral compromise are secondary to efficiency and survival, making him one of the franchise's most unsettling antagonists. Robert House's role in Fallout New Vegas explained. Robert House places the player, known as the Courier, in the middle of a 3-way power struggle over the Mojave Wasteland. On one side is Caesar's Legion, a brutal slaver army modeled after the Roman Empire. On another is the New California Republic, a bloated but familiar attempt at restoring pre-war democratic governance. Standing apart from both is Mr. House, the enigmatic ruler of New Vegas, who refuses to bow to either faction. House offers the Courier a deal: help him secure control of Hoover Dam and activate his upgraded Securitron army, and in return, he will transform New Vegas into the dominant power of the region. If the player chooses House's path, the NCR and the Legion are driven out, and New Vegas becomes an independent city-state ruled entirely by House's algorithms and long-term planning. It's an ending that feels stable and prosperous on the surface, but deeply authoritarian underneath. This moral ambiguity is what makes House such a perfect villain for a television adaptation. He genuinely believes he is saving humanity from itself, and in many ways his logic is hard to refute. The problem is that his version of salvation leaves no room for dissent, unpredictability, or human error. Season 2 of Fallout takes this core idea and expands on it by exploring House not just as a post-war tyrant, but as a pre-war figure whose worldview was already fully formed long before the bombs fell. Robert House's brief appearance in Fallout Season 1. House technically appeared in Fallout Season 1, but it was a blink-and-you-miss-it moment. In the finale, he is seen during a pre-war scene, seated in a war room alongside other powerful figures, including the wife of Cooper Howard. A small plaque reading RobCo confirms his identity, but the scene offers no dialogue and very little context. At the time, the actor portraying him was miscredited, leading to confusion about who was actually playing Robert House. Eventually, it was clarified that Rafi Silver portrayed House in that brief appearance. Because the role was so small, it didn't register as a major casting choice. That changes dramatically in Season 2, where House is no longer a background Easter egg, but a driving force of the narrative. Justin Theroux recast for Robert House for Season 2. With Season 2 shifting its focus to New Vegas, the producers clearly wanted Robert House to feel larger than life. Enter Justin Theroux, an actor known for his ability to blend charisma, menace, and philosophical weight. From The Leftovers to Mulholland Drive, Theroux has built a reputation for playing characters who are emotionally complex and quietly dangerous, making him an inspired choice for House. Theroux's version of Robert House is immediately more present and confrontational. He doesn't hide behind screens or corporate platitudes. Instead, he engages directly with people, delivering sharp critiques of society and exposing the hypocrisy of those who empowered figures like him. This version of House feels less like a distant CEO and more like a prophet of doom who understands exactly how the world works because he helped break it in the first place. The opening scene that changes everything. Fallout Season 2 opens with a pre-war flashback that introduces one of the season's biggest mysteries. Robert House is seen being interviewed on television, calmly explaining that RobCo Industries exists to create greater efficiency in the workplace. This House is played by Rafi Silver, maintaining continuity with his Season 1 appearance. He looks like the polished corporate executive the public would expect, carefully choosing his words and presenting himself as a benevolent innovator. Moments later, the episode cuts to a bar where the same broadcast is playing on a television. Sitting among the patrons is another man, played by Justin Theroux, watching Silver's House speak. This version of House then launches into a monologue, criticizing the very system that elevated him, accusing ordinary people of voting men like Robert House into power with their money and complacency. The scene is striking, not just because of the performance, but because the show openly presents two men who are both clearly Robert House, existing in the same moment. This is not framed as a simple recast. Theroux's House speaks about Robert House as if he is someone else, yet everything about his behavior, resources, and influence suggests that he still holds immense power. The scene feels intentionally disorienting, inviting viewers to question whether they're seeing two sides of the same man or two entirely different entities. Are there two different versions of Robert House? The most obvious explanation would be a production overlap, with Silver handling pre-war scenes and Theroux taking over the main role. However, the way the scene is staged feels too simple. If this were just a recast, the show could easily have reshot the interview scene with Theroux. Instead, it places both versions side by side and draws attention to the contrast between them. One possibility is that Robert House has cultivated multiple public identities. As a man obsessed with control and contingency planning, it would make sense for him to create decoys, spokespeople, or even legally distinct versions of himself to manipulate perception and avoid accountability. The House on television could be the face of RobCo, while the House in the bar is the real architect operating behind the scenes. Another, more unsettling theory is that House's consciousness has already begun to fracture or multiply. In the Fallout universe, advanced AI, personality replication, and digitized minds are not just possible, but common. House may have created backups of his own personality, each designed to serve a different function. One version handles public relations and corporate messaging, while another engages directly with the world, testing, manipulating, and recruiting assets. Why this fits Robert House's character? Robert House has always believed that humanity is flawed and inefficient, and that only a select few minds are capable of steering civilization toward survival. If anyone would be willing to split himself into multiple versions to maximize his influence, it's House. From his perspective, identity is just another tool, and individuality is less important than results. The bar scene reinforces this idea. Theroux's House openly mocks the working class for empowering figures like him, yet he has no intention of relinquishing that power. He even carries $31 million in his car, casually offering it to someone to do his bidding. This is not a man who has been dethroned or replaced. This is someone who still controls vast resources and understands exactly how disposable people are in his grand design. What Robert House represents in Fallout Season 2. Season 2 uses Robert House as a lens to explore themes that feel painfully relevant. Corporate power, technological dependence, and the illusion of choice are all wrapped up in his character. House doesn't see himself as a villain. He sees himself as the inevitable outcome of a broken system. If people are willing to trade freedom for comfort and efficiency, then someone like him is bound to rise. By presenting multiple versions of House, the show emphasizes how power can be both centralized and fragmented at the same time. You may remove one face of authority, but the system remains intact, operating through other channels. House isn't just a person, he's an idea, a philosophy, and a warning about what happens when progress is left unchecked. Our nerdy thoughts. And that's what makes Robert House such a chilling presence in Fallout Season 2. He isn't just a villain you can defeat with a gun or outmaneuver with a single choice. He's an idea, a system, and possibly more than one version of the same mind pulling the strings from different angles. Whether the show is hinting at fractured identities, carefully crafted personas, or something far more sinister, one thing is clear: New Vegas doesn't belong to the people living in it. It belongs to Robert House. As the season unfolds, every move, every alliance, and every betrayal will likely trace back to his vision of a perfectly controlled future. And if Fallout is telling us anything, it's that the most dangerous monsters aren't born in the wasteland. They're built long before the bombs ever fall. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Fallout Season 2 and the mystery surrounding Robert House, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. There's a lot more secrets buried beneath the neon lights of New Vegas, and we're just getting started.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.